While reading the Torah, you may realize that some of this would make a fascinating movie script if only someone in Hollywood would take time to read it. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, Day 5 of Shophetim, Judges. We are in Deuteronomy chapter number 19. Beginning with verse 1, we read this. When Yahweh your Elohim cuts off the nations whose land Yahweh your Elohim has given you, and you dispossess them, and dwell in their cities and in their houses, separate 3 cities for yourself in the midst of your land, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you to possess. Prepare a way for yourself, and divide into 3 parts the border of your land, which Yahweh your Elohim has given you, to inherit that any manslayer shall flee there. And this is the matter of the manslayer who flees there and lives, he who strikes his neighbor unknowingly, not having hated him in time past. Even he who goes to the forest with his neighbor to cut timber, and his hand strikes or swings a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies. Let him flee to one of those cities and live, lest the Redeemer of the blood, while his displeasure is hot, pursue the manslayer and overtake him, because the way is long and shall strike his being, though he was not worthy of death, since he has not hated him before. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, separate 3 cities for yourself. Ultimately, Israel ended up with 6 cities of refuge. These are Levitical cities wherein someone who accidentally, without forethought, this would be considered perhaps second-degree murder or some variation thereof, manslaughter, perhaps would be a better term, an accidental death. Still, you're held accountable, and if there is a family member that is appointed by the one who is slain to seek revenge, they appoint an avenger of the blood to come running and chase the manslayer, the accidental manslayer, and see if he can catch him before he reaches a city of refuge. Again, intriguing and fascinating enough to be a movie script, but Hollywood doesn't read Torah, so they don't get this. Now, there is a point that must be understood, and that is not only should there be cities of refuge established, that all roads and passageways to those cities had to be well maintained. All debris and impediments had to be removed so that there is a straight and available path for the manslayer to run and seek refuge. Now, he had to present his case, and the Levitical judges had to determine that the man was indeed only guilty by accident. Because if they found him guilty, they would just hand him over to the avenger of the blood. The manslaughter perpetrator, the manslayer, had to stay in the city. If he ever went out of the city, he took the risk of his own life. He never knew where the avenger might be lurking. And so from this, we then attach Isaiah chapter 40. Verse 1 says, Comfort my people, says your Elohim. Speak to the heart of Jerusalem and cry out to her that her hard service is completed, that her crookedness is pardoned. There's a pardon, that she has received from the hand of Yahweh double for all of her sins. The voice of one crying in the wilderness. Listen, prepare the way of Yahweh, make straight in the desert a highway for our Elohim. Let every valley be raised, every mountain and hill made low, and the steep ground shall become level, and the rough places smooth. This is the prophetic cry of Yochanan the Immerser, John the Baptist, who indeed verbally cried out and announced the appearance, the soon coming of the Lamb of Elohim who would take away the sins of the world. He was creating a smooth path figuratively, but this is also alluding to the fact that one must be given a smooth and easy transit to a city of refuge. And this is also, interestingly, connected to a false prophet. Or, if we go back to our text that we read today, just prior to this is words concerning those who are a false prophet. In chapter 18 of Devarim, verse 22, when the prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh and the word is not or comes not, that word which Yahweh has not spoken, the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him. He is a false prophet. False prophecy, in a manner of speaking, could be considered manslaughter. That is, you lead people astray, you affect their lives detrimentally. Then, if we go over to the book of Matthew, in Matthew chapter number 13, chapter 7, verse 13 and 14, enter through the narrow gate, because the gate is wide and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there be many who enter through it. Because the gate is narrow and the way is hard pressed, which leads to life, and there be few that find it. Those that are seeking life in Messiah, it's not the wide, broad path, but rather a more constricted path. What's interesting is that immediately following, verse 15, but beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. And it's by your fruits that you will know them. So what does this all say, Barry? Well, I'm glad you asked the question. Number one, let's recognize Yeshua is our city of refuge. He is our place of hiding. And when the false prophets have risen up and they're seeking to destroy us, there is a place that we can run to and find refuge in Messiah. Those that are in Messiah are free from the threat of the avenger of the blood. Thank you, Father. The accuser of the brethren might be a like example. The one who is seeking to steal, kill, and destroy. So we find our refuge in Messiah, and in him we are found worthy of protection. Our case is adjudicated, and he guards us. Likewise, those then, if you want to flip this around a little bit, those that have been guilty of perhaps preaching the wrong thing because, well, it's been what we were taught to preach. Guilty. We did what we were taught to do, trained to do, knew to do. Later on, learned that what we were doing was not necessarily the right thing to be doing. The accuser stood, accused us of falsehood, even though he himself is the father of lies. Doesn't stop him from accusing us. What do? We turn to Messiah, to the real, to the authentic Messiah, to the absolute pure version of him. And we're still seeking that. Let's not get so caught up in our current standing that we think we got perfect knowledge. Let's find ourselves in him and stay in him. Because to venture outside of him is to put ourselves and those in anyone that would be influenced by us at risk. Stay in the city. Stay in Messiah. Stay focused on him. He is indeed our city of refuge. Shabbat shalom to you. And I mean that. Life is hard at times, and I know many of you have had your stuff, and it's been a tough stuff dealt to you. May you find some rest, some relief, some peace, some shalom, some quietness in Him, and be thoroughly immersed in His presence. And until next week, Shabbat Shalom.